Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. We're going to be looking at how to model power foundations in Revit and how to detail it as well. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to come over here and click on new and I'm going to click on browse, and if you know already on this channel we like to start off with a specific template. So you can pick any templates of your choice, is actually fine. I'll click on the drop down, come over here to templates, and I'm going to pick here English, and I'll scroll down and I'll select the structural analysis default GBR ENU templates specific to Great Britain and the European Union. So I'm going to click OK and then click OK to create a new project from that template. Alright, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch to level 1. That's where we'll be modeling our power foundations. Let me just close level 2 here. And we're going to come to the structures tab and we're going to click here on isolated. Now we'll see we have a list of two footings already in this project, but I want to bring in a power cap family, although they still fall under structural foundations categories within Revit. I'll come here and click on load family, and you need to make sure you have a content library installed on your computer to be able to access this. So I have the UK content library, and you can see this is where we can find the repository. So here it's in program data, Autodesk, Revit 2025, that's the version of Revit I'm using. Libraries, English, UK is the content library, and here under the categories we have here structural foundations. Alright, good. I'll also leave a link in the description of the video so you can actually download the content libraries and install. If not, I'll just make available these families for you to download in the link in the description of the video as well. Alright, let's continue. Now see various structural foundations we can use very quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and pick these types. So I'm going to select this power cap for 2 rounded piles. Hold down the control key, select this one here, power cap for 3 rounded piles, and here power cap for 4 rounded piles or round piles here. There are other types as well. For instance, you scroll down, you can see we have the power caps that come with the piles, but I like to model my power caps and my piles separately. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and select this. I'll select this, and I'll scroll down, and I want to bring in here this family. Where is it? That is a steel pile. Let me just go ahead and bring it in. Hold on, we have it somewhere around here unless my eyes are deceiving me. All right, you know what, let's bring this in first. So I'm going to bring in the power caps. I'll go ahead and click on open. There we go. And now you'll be able to see them loaded inside the project. Now I'm going to come back here and click on load family, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm just going to look for a single pile. So here it is. I don't know why I didn't see it the first time. So pile steel pipe, and ideally what I want to do is I want to change this to a concrete pipe pile later on. So I'm just going to go ahead and click open to bring it in. All right, good. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll in here. I'm just going to click and place the pile. I'll press escape. I'll select it. That's the pile I just placed. Right click. Then I'll click here on find in project browser. Inside the project browser, you can see under the family categories, I'm just going to select this here. I'll right click and I'll click on rename, and I'm going to change this here to concrete pile. Let me just change it here to concrete pile. There we go, and I'll press enter, and you see we have some types. Now this doesn't change it to concrete automatically. We need to right click on it and click on edit to edit the family. Now over here you're going to change the material for model behavior from steel. We'll change it here to concrete, and we're going to come over here into the family types, and you can see the default material. So I'm just going to click inside here, and then I'm going to change it. Click on this 3 dot icon to open the material browser. I'll search here for C25. Now this is the material I specifically like to use. I'll go ahead and include it. There we go. I'll click on OK. I'll select this and press Ctrl C to quickly copy, and I'll apply it for the other types as well. So I'm just going to click here, press Ctrl V. I can scroll down and then paste it as well for the 300 diameter. Paste this one as well for the 400 diameter. Paste this one as well for the 500 diameter. Now, if I want to create a new type, I can just come over here and click here on this button, new type. And I'm just going to go ahead and call this here 450 diameter. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm just going to change the diameter value here to 450. All right, good. The next thing I want to do as well is I want to change this depth parameter. So I want it to be an instance parameter in the project. So I'm just going to select it like this. Click on edit, and I'm going to change it here to instance, meaning that every pile can have individual lengths or different lengths under the same type. I'll click OK. click OK. And now I'm just going to come here and click on load into project and close. I don't want to save, just click on no. Then overwrite the existing version and its parameter values. Now if you select the PAL, you see it appears as concrete PAL. You can see the types as well, and you can change it to any of the size that you see fits. Likewise as well, you can also change the length from here, which is the instance parameters. Alright, good. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that PAL. I'm going to go ahead and delete it first. And now let's model the PAL caps. Now let's go ahead and model the PAL caps. Under the structures tab, I'm going to click on isolated, and I'm just going to come here and switch this. I'm just going to switch this here to the PAL cap to round PALs. I'll select it. I'll go over here and place it here. I can press spacebar to change the orientation. So I'll click to place this, then I'll press escape twice. I'll select this PAL cap here, and I'm just going to copy. So I'll click on copy, and I'll paste it in two other places like this. I'll press escape. Now I can select this PAL cap here, and I can go ahead and change it to the 3 round PALs. I can press the spacebar key to change the orientation. I can select this one as well. I'll change this here to 4 PALs. There we go. And you see we have the 3 types. Alright, good. Now I'm going to make a selection of all the 3 like this, and I'm going to change the material. So I'll come here, click inside here, and I'm just going to go ahead and look for the C2530 material. There we go. So we can see since we loaded it in the family before and we loaded it into the project, it's already available here. So I'll select this one here, and I'll go ahead and click OK. And now you can see the material has been set. The reason why I like using this method is that you can clearly see where the PALs are placed in the PAL caps. So in this case, I can switch this visual style from hidden. I can change it here to wireframe, and you can see the position of where the PALs should be placed. If you select one of the PAL caps as well and you click on edit type, you can also see the default PAL diameter. So for instance, this one has been set here to 350. If I go ahead and change, for instance, to 450, if I click on apply and OK, you can see here that the diameter would also increase as well. To see it better, we can go to the view tab. You can come here and click on default 3D view. We can see how the PAL caps appear. Alright, good. Now let's go back here into the level 1 view. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to make a copy, and then I'll make a copy here to the left, and we're going to create a new family here for just one rounded PALs. Now I'm going to select it like this. I'm going to click on edit family. There we go. And inside this family, you can see currently it's for the 2 rounded PALs. I'm going to come here to views, expand, and I'm going to look here for floor plans, and then come here to reference levels. So I'll just double click to open it up. Alright, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove some parameters. For instance, I'll remove this clearance temporarily. I'll select this. I'll come here and click on this reference plane. I'll delete it as well. And I'll come over here and remove these values as well. So just delete this dimension, select this, delete this dimension as well. Now go ahead and select this. Alright, so this is an extrusion. I'll click on edit extrusion, and we have 2 PALs. I'll select this one here and I'll delete it. Now I'll make a selection over this, and I'll click on the move tool. And I'll come here, click on this center, and I'm going to move it here to this point. So it's asking me that it's going to remove some constraints. Yes, that's what I want. So I'll go ahead and finish, and then click on finish. All right, good. Now I'll go ahead and select these 2 reference planes in between, and I'll go ahead and delete it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add another dimension. So I'll come here under the modify tab. I can click on dimension. I'll select here and here, place it, select here and here, and place it as well. I'll press escape. Now I'm going to go over here and select this, and I'll change the label here to clearance. So I'll set it to clearance. This one as well, come and select it, and I'll change it as well to clearance. All right, good. Let me just move this dimension down a bit. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here into family types, and I'm going to remove some things we don't need anymore for this type. So in this case here, we don't need this PAL centers again. So I'll just select it, and I'll come over here and delete the parameter. Click on yes. There we go. And we can see we have the PAL cap length. I'm going to set this value here to 1000 to match the PAL cap width. I'll click on apply and OK. There we go. And I'll come back here and select this for align dimension. Click here. I'll click here, and I'll place this dimension. Then click on modify. Select this, and I'm going to go ahead and change this here to PAL cap length. All right, so good. So you can see here that it's not satisfied, and the reason for that is we need to go ahead and set a formula that says that PAL cap length is equal to 2 times the clearance. So to do that, I'm just going to come back here where we have the PAL cap length. I'll come over here where we have clearance. I can just select this, press Ctrl C to copy, come back to power cap length, click here, press Ctrl V, and I'll put here multiplied by 2. There we go. I'll go ahead and click on apply, and you can see automatically it's been calculated. So if I change the clearance, for instance, to 500, and I click on apply, you can see as well that the power cap length has been updated. If I click OK, we can see the same thing here as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this as a family. I can't load it back into the project because it has this name. That's the 2 rounded piles. So it overwrites the existing. So I'm going to come over here to file, and I'm going to come here and click here on save as, and then family. And you can't save it inside this folder. Autodesk won't allow you to do that. So you just come over anywhere on your computer, you can save it. So in this case, I'll come here and change its power cap for 1. There we go. Round pile. So have to be careful of grammar as well. There we go. Under options, I always like to set the maximum numbers of backups to 1. I'll set this as well. Click OK. And the good thing about saving it is that you can actually go ahead and use this in subsequent projects. You can load it into another project. I'll come here and click on save. There we go. And I'll load into projects and close. And you can see we have the pile. So I'll just press escape. I'll select this existing pile, and I'll go ahead and switch here to this new type, which is this. Now let's go ahead and change the parameters for our piles. To see this better, I'll switch over to the 3D view. Now if you look very closely, we can see we have a clearance cut here for the pile. I'm going to change this here to hidden lines. I'm just going to navigate under. We can see where the piles are meant to connect to the pile caps, and this is a very nice detail actually. And this can actually be modified by selecting the pile, in this case clicking on edit type, and we can go ahead and change the clearance, the cutoff, rather the pile cutoff. So in this case it's set here to 75. If I wanted to increase it to, let's say, 150, if I click on apply, you can see it increases it as well. For this pile type here, I'm going to change the number of piles here to 1. This is the type we just created, family we just created rather. I'll change the cap preference as well to PCR1. I'll click on apply, and for the foundation thickness, I'll set it here to 1000. All right, there we go. I'll click OK, and I'm going to go ahead and change this for as well. I'll come here and click on edit type, and this is fine here. I'll change the thickness here to 1000. I'll click on apply, and if I wanted to increase the clearance depending on your pile spacing rules, you can do that by coming inside here. Let's say if I wanted to use 600, you can see here to increase the length of the pile, but I'll maintain 475 for this example. All right, good. So I'll select this one as well, click on edit type, and here I just want to change the thickness here to 1000. That's all I'll do here. Click on apply, there we go. And here for this one as well, select this, click on edit type, and here we already have it as 1000, so that's perfectly fine. Oops, so I should probably change the cutout as well. I'm going to use 150 for all. There we go. Select this one here, change this here to 150. There we go. And this as well, change it from 75 to 150. Click on apply and OK. Great. Now if I come back to level 1, you can also see here that if you change the diameters of the piles, it will be updated. So if I select this one, for instance, if I click on edit type, here we can see the pile diameter is set to 450. If I change it here to 500 and click on apply, you can see the pile diameter also affects the size of the what they call it, of the pile cap as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So I'll set this here as 450. I'll select this one here, click on edit type, and here pile diameter 450, that's fine. Select this one as well, 450. There we go. So we're using piles of 450 for this example. Now let's go ahead and model our piles inside the pile caps. So under the structures tab, come back here and click on isolated, and make sure you search here for the concrete piles. Select the 450 diameter type, and I'm going to go over here and set here the level to level 1, and I want to have an offset of about -1000, so it enters the pile cutoff for the pile caps. And I'll set the length here. Let's go ahead and use the value of 7500. There we go, and I'll click on apply. Now we can basically see the positions of how to place our piles, which is a very nice trick using this type. So I'll select and place one here, and you'll be able to see it by going to the 3D view. We can see we've placed our pile. So I'll come back here into level 1. I'll place one here, place one here. I'll come here and place one here, place one here, place one here, place one, place one, place one, and I'll come here and place the last one. So it's kind of like a guide for you to place your piles. I'll press escape twice, then come to the 3D view, and you can see we've placed all our piles. The good thing about using this particular trick is that if you select one of the piles, you can individually change their depths because we edited it in the family. So it's now an instance parameter. So if I want this particular pile to be about 9 meters, I can change it here to 9 meters. And you can see this is independent from all of this, even though they are still of the same type. I'll just go ahead and undo. I want everything to be at the same length for this particular tutorial. Alright, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide the annotations in this view. So under graphics, I'll click on edit, come to annotations, go ahead and turn this off and click OK. And we're good to go. Let's go ahead and model the reinforcements in the piles. But before we do that, I'm just going to make a selection over all the pile caps. And I'm going to change the covers on all faces. I'll set it here to any of these available rebar covers. I'll use this here, 50. I'll come here and use this as well. This exposure class presets. There we go. And we've set it for the covers, and I'll make a selection of all the piles as well, and you can set it for the bottom and other faces. I'll set it here to 50, set this one as well to 50. All right, good. So now that we've done that, we need to model reinforcement inside the pile. We need to create a section through the pile to do this. So we're going to go over here to the elevation view. Let's open up the south in this example, and I'll come to the view tab and click on section. I'll come over here and switch here to detail because this is the only way to make a section in this direction. I'll click here, move in this direction, I'll click again. I'll drag the far clip offset all the way to this point. Now I'll go over here and double click to open up the section. Currently we can't see the piles, and this is just kind of like an illusion because the view has been cropped. So I'll come over here and turn off the crop view, and if you zoom out you can now see where it is. So I'll just click on this crop view and just navigate or drag the crop region to this point here. There we go. So we can now see our piles. So I'm just going to zoom into this pile, which we are going to start off with. I'll come here and change the view scale here. Let's set this here to 1 to 25 so we can see what we're doing better. Alright, good. Now I'm going to go ahead and model my circular rings or spiral ties. So you can actually use any of these options. We'll explore both. So I'll select the pile and click on rebar. And this is the first time we're creating any rebar in this project, so just click on OK. And I'm going to go over here and set the parameters that I want to use. So in this case here for layouts, I'm just going to change this here to maximum spacing. I'll set this here to 300. So I'm going to start off with circular ties. I'll set here to parallel to work plane and current work plane. And I'll go over here and set my rebar size here to H12. Now if I scroll down all the way to this point, you'll be able to see the bar types or bar shapes for these circular parts. So here circular ties is for 75 shape. If I select this and I move close to the pile, you can see how it's be placed. So in this case here, I have to move towards the center to make sure that it's placed properly. If I click, you can see that that reinforcement has been placed. If I come to the 3D view, we can't see it yet. So I'll just cancel this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here back to the detail view. I'll select this reinforcement and I'll come over here where we have the properties, scroll down under visibility state. I'll click on edit, and for the 3D view here, I'm going to set it as view unobscured. Click OK. Now if I come to the 3D view, we can see it. So we can see exactly how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and change this detail level here to fine so we can see it better. Alright, good. So if you are not using this option, you can just select it and you can go ahead and change it here to a tie. So that's a rings rather. If I scroll down, I can change it to 77. If I click on apply, you can see how it appears. And for this, to change the spacing, we need to change a parameter inside here, not here. So you can see we can't change the spacing from here. So that is going to be the pitch. I can change the pitch here, set it here to 300. If I click on apply, you can see it updates as well. It also gives you the total length as well of the bar under the parameters for dimension. But I'm just going to go back twice and I'm going to use the circular rings. Alright, good. Let's go ahead and model the straight bars that are meant to be inside the pile. So I'm going to select the pile like this and I'm going to click here on rebar. Keep in mind we're currently in the 3D view. So if I click on rebar, you'll see we have placement methods for freeform reinforcement. I'll make sure it's set here to freeform. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the layout rule. I'm going to set it here to use a fixed number. I'll use a quantity of 8 bars. There we go. And it's asking me to select my host surface. So let me just zoom out a bit. So you have to be very careful. I'm going to select the host surface one on this edge since it's a circular part. And I'll select this other edge as well. Now I want to select my path. I'll click here to switch here to path. Now I'm going to select one of the face at the bottom, then select the other face at the bottom. Once you're done, just go ahead and click on finish, and now you can see your bars have been created. I can go ahead and cancel. I also forgot to change the size, so I can select the bars. I can go ahead and change the size. I'll change it here to H16. Alright, good. So you can see it goes all the way to the top. If you come back here into the detail view, you can also see how the bars have been placed as well. We're going to look at how to change it so it doesn't fall where we have our circular ties. We're going to modify the rebar cover constraint for these bars. So I'll go ahead and select it. And then now over here we see constraints. I'll click on edit constraints. And we see the rebar cover constraints. So edit rebar constraints here. So if I see this is the rebar cover constraints. If I click here, I'm going to set a value here of, let's use minus 20. If I press enter, you can see here it's offset it inside. If I want it to be closer, I can just change it here. Let's use minus 16. Press enter. So now you see it hits the face of the circular ties. I'll go ahead and click on finish. There we go. If I come to the 3D view, you can also see it's also been reflected here as well. Now let's go ahead and add hooks to the bars. So I'm just going to select the straight bars like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here where we have the construction method. I'll come here to hook at start. I'll set it here to standard 90 degrees and click on apply. And that should place the hooks over here at the bottom. So you can see here that the hooks, they clash with each other. So to change the length of the hooks, I'll just scroll down here. And we're going to see that we have the parameter for the hook under H1. We can't modify it here because this option is currently not turned on. So override hook length. I'll turn it on, click on apply. And if I scroll down, you can now see we have the option to change it. I'll set this here to 100. If I click on apply, you can see it reduces it. I'm just going to click on the front view here, and I'm just going to select one of the sets for the circular bars or circular ties. Click here, drag it up a bit. There we go. I'll move over here to the top as well, and I want this here to fall just before the power cuts off. There we go. Now select this bar here as well, and I want to go ahead and add hooks at the start or at the end in this case for this bar. So I'll do is I'll scroll up here, and we have here hook at end. I'll set it here to 90 degrees. Click on apply. And we can see here that it's not going in the direction that we would expect for hooks, terminating into the power caps. So what I'll do is I'll come here to hook rotation at end. I'll set it here to 180 and click on apply. All right, good. Likewise as well, if you want to change the length, you can just come over here, scroll down, and then change the H2 value. So in this case, if I want it to be at exactly 250, I can go ahead and set here to 250. You can see here that it's been modified as well. If I want to extend the length of this straight bar here, I can select it, click here on edit constraint. I can go ahead and click here on this shape handle. So that's end of bar in this case, and I can give it an offset. So let's say I want it to go up by 500 mm. So if I press enter, you can see it's gone up like this. You can click on the front view to look at the reference. Once you're satisfied, just go ahead and click on finish. There we go. So we're done modeling the reinforcement inside the pile. If we want to quickly propagate this reinforcement cage to the other piles, what we can do is we can select the pile, then click here on propagate rebar. So I can go ahead and select the piles I want to propagate the rebar to, and I can hold down the control key to select multiple piles all at once. Once I'm done, just go ahead and click on finish, and just like this, we have modeled the reinforcement in all the piles inside the project. Now let's go ahead and model the reinforcement inside the pile cap. I'm going to switch here back here into level 1. I'm going to move in this direction, and let me just change this view scale here to 1 to 15 to make it easier for us to see. I'm going to come over here to the view tab and create 2 detail views. Click on section. I'll make sure it's set here to detail view for now, and then click here in this direction, create a detail view like this, and I'll come back here into the view tab and then create another detail view in this direction. I'll hold down the control key and select the 2 sections, and I'll change the view scale here to 1 to 25. So these detail views are for the purpose of just modeling reinforcements for now. All right, good. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this second one here. I'll drag the far clip offset. Sorry about that. So just drag this back a bit to this point. There we go. Select this, drag this back as well. And I'll go over here and open this. So I'll double click to open it up. And we can see this section through the pile cap. To model the reinforcement, I just need to select it and come here and click on rebar. Once I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down or scroll up rather. I'm just going to look for the shape I need. So shape 21 is what I need. I'll go ahead and change the layout rule, set it here to maximum spacing, and I'll change this here to about 200. Let's use 200 for this example. For the rebar size, I'll set it here to use H16. There we go. And I'll come over here and place it in this direction. So we see we have a problem with it not going all the way. So all I'll do is I'll just place it like this. Then I'll just click on modify, select the bar, and then I'll drag it into this area. There we go. I'll change the length here on both sides to 850. Let's try 850 here. Click here, type here 850 as well. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust the position for this bar. I'll select it and I'm just going to move it up a bit. And this is going to act as our B2 layer. So let's set the rebar layer parameter. I'll come over here to the manage tab and I'm going to create a shared parameter for this. So I'll come and click on shared parameter. And I already have one available. If you've been following this channel, you'll notice this particular skill. I'm just going to come here for those of us that learn for the first time. I'm just going to come and click here on create. And you want to create a new txt file here to store your shared parameters. So in this case, I'll just right click, just click on new, and then just go ahead and create a new text document. I'll call it here structural, and just call it 3 because I have 1, 2 already. So I'll just press enter, select it, make sure it's selected, then click on save. Here it's telling me I want to replace. Do you want to replace? Just click on yes. I'm going to click on new group here. And I'm going to change this to name this rather to rebar. There we go. Click OK. And then for the parameter, I'll click here on new and I'll call this here rebar layer. There we go. And then for the type here, I'll change it here to text and then click OK. All right, good. I'll click OK here. Back here on the manage tab, I'm just going to come here and click on project parameters. Then I'll come over here and create a new parameter. And I'm going to come here and select shared parameter. Click on select and then make sure rebar layer is selected. We do this because we want to assign it to a tag later on. So we're just going to come here for group under. You can set it under identity data. I'll set it under construction. I prefer it to be under construction. Let it be an instance parameter. And we want this to fall into reinforcement, which is structural rebar category. I'll go ahead and click OK. And we see we have a new project parameter. If I click OK, I can select this bar here and I can put a custom parameter under construction. If I scroll down, you see rebar layer. I'll go ahead and call this here B2 and I'll click on apply. There we go. Let's go ahead and set the B1 layer. So I'm going to come back here into level 1 and open up this section. So double click to open it up and we can see where the B2 layer is referenced. So I'll just select the power cap again, click here on rebar and make sure that this shape here is selected 21. But before I place it, I'll set the layer here to B1. I'll click on apply and I'll set it here to parallel to cover, maximum spacing of 200 and then set the bar to H16. And I want to change this here to parallel to work plane rather. So it shows like this. There we go. And I'll go ahead and click to place it. Just click on modify to exit and then I can just go ahead and modify and place it where I need it to be. So just like this. So you can see the B2 falls directly on it. In this case, I'm just going to select the B2 and I'm just going to drag its extents to this point here. Just like this. All right, good. And now select this B1 here and I'm going to drag it in a bit because I want to have sidebars later on. So just drag it here up to this point. Select the B2. I want to move that in a bit. There we go. And for the B1 that we just created, I'll change the length here to 850. All right, 850 on both ends. So 850 here as well. All right, there we go. All right, good. So we can see we've set the B1 and we've set the B2 layer. So if you select the B2 and go to detail 2, you can see it is also highlighted here as well. The B2, we're also going to drag it in a bit because we want to have sidebars. We want to make room for it before the cover. And just like that, we're good to go. Now let's go ahead and place the top bars. So what I'll do is I'll select one of these here. That's B2. Hold down the control key, select the B1 as well. So we have to set. I'll click on this button here, mirror draw axis, then find the midpoint of this power cap, click and move in this direction and click again. All right, good. So in this case, of course, it can't be like this. So I'm just going to select this phone here and I'll change this here to T2, click on apply, and then I'll change this here to T1 and click on apply. I'll select this here, T2, and then drag this one in a bit somewhere around here to hit the face. Drag this one here as well. There we go. And I want to reduce the length, so I'll change this here to 800, press enter. Change this as well to 800, press enter. There we go. Likewise as well, I just want to go ahead and see how it looks in the other section. So detail 1 here. All right, good. So in this case, we'll select DT1 and I'll drag the extent in here. There we go. Drag the extent in here as well. And there we go. So we can see this is fine. So I might change this here to 800 as well. Just change this to 800. There we go. And here for the T2, it's a bit too close to where we have the T1. So I'm just going to drag the extent in here inwards a bit. Then drag this extent here as well. All right, good. Now, if you want to see what you've done in the 3D view, we can just come back here, and without having to toggle the visibility all the time, what I can do is I can just select one of the power caps, right click, come here to override graphics in view by category, and I'll set the surface transparency here. Let me set it here to 50. I'll click on apply, and this way we would always be able to see the reinforcements. So I'll come back here into either detail 1 or detail 2. Let me come to detail 1. I want to place the sidebars. I'll select the power cap here. I'll click here on Rebar, and I'm going to change the rebar size here to H12, maximum spacing, and 200 as well. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down and look for this shape, which is 52. Now in this case here, you can see this is not the orientation in which we want to place it, so we can change it here to parallel to cover, and you can see exactly how it will be placed. Now I can just go ahead and click to place it. Once you're done, just click on modify. And currently we can't see how it would look like unless we come to the 3D view. We can see where we have the links now. So I'll come back here into detail 1. I'll select it. I don't want it to go too much above, so I'm just going to drag it down. And you see it's constrained to some of our bars. We'll fix that shortly. So I'll drag this one up as well. Now I'll select this one, which is our B1. It's moved up when we move the sidebars. So just go ahead and drag it down. I'll select this one as well, which was our T1, then drag it all the way to this point. All right, there we go. So now if I come here to the 3D view, we can now see our reinforcement cage for the power cap. Now this one here may look a bit off, and the reason for that is because of the visibility toggle. What we can do to just maintain a consistent presentation is to select everything. I'll come over here and switch to structural rebar. Then I'll come and scroll down, view visibility states. If I click on edit, I'll just make sure that everything is set here to view unobscured. If I click OK, everything would now be visible in view. So there are various ways you can go about it. Now let's go ahead and propagate the reinforcements to the other power caps. The same procedure of modeling the reinforcements will also apply for this type and this type as well. So before I do that, I'm just going to scroll here and then select this sidebar. And under rebar layer, I'm just going to set it here as sidebars. Let me just put here sidebars. There we go. I'll click on apply. Good. And now I can go ahead and select this power cap. And I can click on this button here for propagate rebar. I'll go ahead and select this, and you can see here it has placed the reinforcement inside here. It has maintained the reinforcement constraints, the cover provisions as well. If I want to continue placing, I can just go ahead and select this one here. And when I'm done, I can just go ahead and click on finish. And just like that, let me just cancel this. You see we've been able to place the reinforcements in the other power caps aside from this. For the power cap for 3 round pulse, I'm going to switch here back to level 1. And first thing, I'm just going to go ahead and change the clearance. As you can see, the bars from the pulse are shooting out a bit, so I'll just select it and I'll click on edit type. I could also as well reduce the hook length, but I don't, so I just want to come over here to clearance and I'll change this here to 475. That way it should be able to cover it. All right, good. So back here in level 1, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go over here and borrow this, or actually just make a copy of it. So I'll select our detail, I'll just select any base points, and I'll move over into this direction and I'll place it here. I'll press escape and I'm just going to click and drag it around here, and you want to make sure that the far clip offset gets to this point and not after the point where we have another segment. So just over here is fine. All right, good. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it up, and that's our detail 3. I'm just going to close this extra 2 details that we have, and we have the power cap section for the 3 round, the pulse with 3 round pulse, rather power cap with 3 round pulse rather. So I'm going to select it and going to click here on rebar, and I'm just going to go over here and scroll up until we find here the shape number 21 we used earlier on. There we go. So I'll select it and I'm going to go ahead and change this here to H16, and I'm going to switch this back here to parallel to work plane. I want to place it in this direction, and I'm just going to go over here and nudge it a bit to the side, or I can come to the center. I'll just go ahead and place it here, then click on modify. I'll select the bars and I'm just going to drag the hooks, or rather the other segments, to this point here. I'll go ahead and change the segments here to 850, and I'll change the segments here to 850 as well. Now if we go to the 3D view, we'll be able to see exactly what we've done. You can see here that it extends all the way to this point. In this case, we don't want that, so I'll just come back here into level 1, and you can see where the segments is meant to stop. So I'm going to drag it all the way back here up to this point. There we go, and that's what we want. I'll come back here into detail 3, and I want this to be my, let's have this to be our B2 in this case. So I'll just go over here and set the rebar layer. I can choose from the existing already, set it here to B2. There we go, and I will just drag this up a bit. All right, good. And what I'll do now is I'll come back here into level 1. We can see the bar we selected, and I'm just going to go over here and click here on copy. I'll copy from this point and then move it to this direction and place. Press escape. Now we're going to use one of the tools here in Revit called varying rebar sets. When I click on it, it will allow me to vary the rebar from where it's been placed. So now if I drag it backwards, you can see here now that it has changed the segments. It is matching with the shape of the power cap. So I'll move it closer towards where we have the cover at this point. There we go. And I'm going to drag the extent in a bit to this point and to this point as well. All right, good. I'm also going to drag it here as well. All right, there we go. And if I come to the 3D view, you can also see what we've done as well. All right, good. Now let's come back here into level 1. I'm just going to scroll back here to the first pile, and I'll borrow this section. Just go ahead and click on copy, and I'll select any base points, and I'll go ahead and paste it here. There we go. And we're going to use this to place our B1 layer. I'll just extend it out a bit, and I want to nudge it a bit towards this side. All right, good. So once we've done that, I'm just going to double click to open it up. This is my detail 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the pile, and I'm going to click here on rebar. There we go. Make sure 21 is selected. And here, I'm just going to go ahead and place it over here on the edge. Click here. Then I'll just click on modify. I'll select it. And just like we did before, set this here to 850. I'll set this here to 850 as well. There we go. And I'm just going to drag it up onto this point. So you can see the cut line. So just drag it up onto this point. All right, good. So if you come to the 3D view, you can also see what you've done as well. So it is where it is meant to be. All right, so I'll come back here into detail 4. And you can see since this is meant to be our B1, I'll set it here as B1. Click on apply. We can see our B2 from earlier. And for this B2 here, I may want to nudge it down a bit. So I would have to do that back in the other view, that is detail 3. So here we can see where our B1 is. So I'll select this B2, and I'm just going to drag or nudge it down a bit. There we go. And because it's Revit, you can easily cross-reference, so you can see where it is here. I'll select this one as well, and I'm just going to drag it up to this point. All right, good. If we come to the 3D view, we can see the bar that we just placed. That is going to be this bar here. Let me just go ahead and select it. There we go. You can see exactly where it is. Now for this, I'm just going to come back here into level 1. We can see the bar. I'm going to come here and turn on varying rebar set. Now if I go ahead and drag it, you can see now that it aligns to the face, which is what we want. I'm going to drag it up onto this point, just around here. There's somewhere around here. There we go. And let's go. All right, good. So if I come to the 3D view, you can also see what we did as well. I'll come back here into level 1, and I want it in this other direction as well. So with it being selected, our B1 by the way, I'll come over here and click on mirror draw axis. Click here, move upwards, then click here. There we go. If I come to the 3D view, you can now see what we've done. All right, good. So I'm going to come back here into level 1, and I'm going to select one of these bars, either this or this on this side. Let me select this here. I'm going to click on copy, and I'm just going to copy from here and then paste around here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the varying rebar set, and I'm just going to move the extent all the way to this point, and I'll drag it over here to this point as well. So just let's all place it somewhere around here. There we go. If you come back to the 3D view, you can now see we've been able to place the B1 reinforcements along the whole part. All right, good. So we need to as well do that as well for the top. So to do that, I'm just going to come back here into detail 3 in this case. So I'll select detail 3 and I'm just going to select this particular bar here, B2, and I'm just going to hold down the control key, select one of the that's the B1s as well. Hold down the control key, select this other one as well. Hold down the control key, select this one as well. So we have 4 sets, and I'm just going to click here on this button for mirror. So yeah, so mirror draw axis, find the center, click here, and then click in this direction to place it. Once I'm done, I'll just press escape. Now I want to make some modifications. I don't want them to be too close to where the sidebars are, so I'll select it and I'll drag this one to this point here. Around here is fine. I'll do the same thing as well here. Drag this one in a bit, and the reason for that is because I want this one to, you know, lap at this joint here. I'll change this here to 800. There we go. And I'll drag this one here in as well. I'll change this as well to 800. There we go. I'll select this particular bar here and I'll go ahead and drag it in to this point. Great. Select this particular one here and drag it into this point as well. All right, good. So we can also as well check in the 3D view that we've mirrored everything. So we can see we've mirrored everything. We just forgot to select this particular one because we didn't have a section for it. So we need to go ahead and do this for this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and select the bar in this question. So this particular one here. So I've selected it. I can come back here into detail 3. So even if you can't see it, we can still use this plane to mirror. So you see it selected here. So I'll click here on mirror draw axis. I'll come here and find the center, click here, there we go. If I come to the 3D view, you can see we've been able to place it in the right direction. Now let's make sure that the layers that we mirrored are assigned properly. So in this case here, I'll select this particular bar, and this here is meant to be our T2 now. So I'll type here T2, click on apply. This one on top is meant to be our T1. So I'll select this. I'll hold down the control key, select this one as well, and then hold down the control key and just orbit around and select this. And here this is meant to be our T1. I'll click on apply. There we go. So this one we've applied as T2. So this one here as well needs to be changed to T2. All right, good. So we can also look around and make sure that none of these bars are, clashing with each other. So in this case here, I can see this particular one is too close. So I'll just go ahead and drag it out a bit. There we go. That's much better. We can as well also change the dimensions. So I can go ahead and change this here to 800. So it's not too close. And I'll also check in this other direction. So this is too close. Just change it here so it doesn't clash with the existing bars. And I'll change the length segment here to 800. There we go. So that's just very small steps, but it can be nice if you get them right for fabrication details. So set it here, 800. There we go. All right, good. So likewise as well, I'm going to select this particular one here. I'll drag it out a bit, just somewhere here, around here. There we go. Change this here to 800. There we go. And I'll change this one here to 800. All right, good. So I want to do the same thing as well for this one on this side. So select it. That's bar here. Now I'm going to look for the grip points. So sometimes you have to just orbit around till you find it. So somewhere around here. There we go. Then change this here to 800. All right, good. So that has been taken care of. Now let's go ahead and model the sidebars. To do this, I'm just going to go ahead and open up an elevation view. So open up this south view. I'll borrow this detail section like this. I'm just going to click on copy. I'll find this power cap here for the 3 powers. Then I'll paste it here and drag the far clip offset to this point. I'll go ahead and open up, and this is our detail 5, or rather that's my detail 5. And here this is the power cap for 3 round powers. I'll select it, and since this is a section through the concrete power cap, I can go ahead and click on rebar. Right, good. So in this case, I'm just going to create a custom shape. So I'm just going to click here on sketch here and then click on the face. So I say custom shape, but actually it's just regular shapes. I'm just going to be creating them in segments. I'll click here, move in this direction, click here, and now place in this direction. So maybe stop somewhere around here. Let me just stop somewhere around here. There we go. I'll press escape, and I'll just go ahead and click on finish. All right, good. Press escape. If I select this, you can see this is shape number 15. Now I'm just going to come over here and then change this to hook at start. Hook at start. I'll change this here to standard 135. Click on apply, and I want it to go in the other direction. So there are two ways I can rotate it from here, or edit sketch, and then I can just toggle it to the other direction. Then click on finish. All right, good. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the power cap again, and then I'm just going to click here on Rebar. There we go. Then click on sketch. Now select the face again, and I'll come here and then place a bar in this direction, move in this direction, and place one here. I'll press escape. Now before I finish, I'm just going to go ahead and change this here to hook at start, set it here to 135 degrees, and the hook at end as well, set it here to 135 degrees. Then I'll go ahead and click on finish. All right, good. Now I'm just going to select these two bars here, and I'm going to change them to 12 mm. That was the intention. Okay. Now I'm going to place one more bar in this direction. So I'm just going to select this, select the power cap again, click on Rebar, and I'm going to click on sketch, select the face, and I'm just going to select along the cover line. There we go. And press escape first. I want to remove this hook at start, set it here to none for both directions first. Then click on this line, click here, and then I'll move in this direction, place one here, press escape. And since I want them to be equal, I'll select this bar, click here on mirror draw axis, click here, move down, and click here. Then press escape. If I click on finish, I'll press escape. I should change this as well to 12 mm. There we go. We can see now that it matches. So this is going to lap with this, and you can see this is a standard shape 25. This here is shape 15 with a hook, and this is shape 00 with hooks at both ends. All right, good. So the last thing we need to do is we need to just select this one here, and I'll go over ahead and click here on mirror draw axis, find this direction, click here, and place it in that direction. All right, good. Now I'm going to hold down my control key and select all the sidebars. All right, there we go. And I'll set the rebar layer to sidebars, click on apply, and I'll change the layout rule here. I'll set it here to, let's set it to maximum spacing of 200 as well. Now if you come over here into the 3D view, you can see here that it has spaced them well, but I don't want it to start directly at the top and bottom. So with those four bars selected like this, I'm just going to click on this button here to temporarily hide or isolate, and I'll isolate those elements. All right, good. So I'm just going to come here, click on the front view so I can see what I'm doing properly. I'll select this first one here. I'll just go ahead and nudge it up a bit. Select this one here, nudge it up again. Select this one here, nudge it up. Select this, nudge it up as well. Then I'll do the same thing as well for the top, nudge it down like this. Select this one, nudge it down. Select this, nudge it down as well. And you can see everything aligns properly. Now you can also check if you've done it properly by going into any of the detail views. You can see, okay, this seems fine to me. Now I'll come back into the 3D view, and what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to orbit around, and we don't want the bars to clash like this. So I'll select this bar here, hold down the control key, select this one as well, and I'll click on the front view. And what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go ahead and use my arrow keys to nudge it up. So just to show, that they lap. All right, good. So once you've done that, you can just go ahead and click this button and reset. So we have a very nice detail here. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch back here into level 1, and I'm just going to locate this section in this direction for this power cap with 3 round pawls. Double click, and I just want to adjust the position. You can see we have a bit of space before the sidebars, so just going to nudge this here to the side a bit. There we go. Nudge this one as well to the side. Great. Select this one here, nudge it here as well to the side. There we go. Click here and nudge it here to the side. All right, good. So likewise as well, I'll come back here into level 1, and then I'll open up this section. And here we can see that this particular bar is, let's go ahead, we can see that's the sidebar. We can see this particular bar here, the T1 is already lapping with the sidebar. We don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag it here, place it here. And with the sections, we can basically make sure that none of the bars are clashing with each other. So this particular one here, this one here is using a lap length of 800. So I want this to be 850. So probably in the process of modifying, I made that mistake. So this is meant to be 800. All right, good. Likewise as well, I'll go ahead and select this. Just go ahead and select this bar. There we go. And I'll nudge it to this point here. Great, good. So we'll do the same thing as well in the other directions. Just go ahead and select this, and I don't need to copy. I can just drag it to this direction like this, then double click to open, and then make sure that I fix that in all the directions. So select this, then drag this one here to this point, set this here to 800, press enter. Select this, change this here to 850, press enter, and maybe just nudge this one here to the side a bit. There we go. Anything for that lovely detail. You don't need to worry about this bar. This is from the Powell itself. I'll come here, I'll select this bar on the top, then drag it to this point here. Change this here to 800. There we go. And I'll change this one back here to 850. There we go. I'll select this bar here, nudge it in. All right, good. So this is what we do on this channel. We always like to make sure that our details are properly done. So I'm just going to select this one here. There we go. And nudge it down to this point. All right, good. So come back here into level 1, then click here and then move in this direction and just drag the far clip offset to this point here. Then go ahead and open it up, and we want to check for this side here. We're going to select this bar here, then just drag it to this point. There we go. Click on this, drag it to this point here. Let's drag this one back here. Select this, change this here to 850. Select this, change it here to 800, and that is good. Now, if I come back here into the 3D view, we can see we are done with modeling the reinforcement inside this power cap. Now, let's go ahead and set a nice presentation view for our foundation reinforcements. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up this model a bit. So we're done with these detail views. You can also close up the tabs. I've done that already. I'll expand and I'll delete all these detail views. You only delete once you're done modeling the reinforcement, by the way. So I'm going to delete this. All right, good. So once we've done that, I'm just going to move over here to graphics, click on edit, come over here to filters, and I'm going to click here on add. We're going to create new filters. Just click on edit on new, and I'm just going to come here and click on this button for new. I'll set it here as B1. Set it to define rows, click OK. I'll scroll down, look for structural rebar, check it under the categories, and set it here to the rebar layers what they call a parameter we created earlier on. So just scroll up a bit. There we go. I'll set it here to be equals to B1. All right, good. I'll click on apply. Now I'll select this one here, and I'm just going to duplicate it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll select this one here, click on it, and I'll rename it here to B2. Click OK. Make sure it's selected, and I'm going to change this layer here to B2. I'll select this one here, go ahead and rename, change it here to T1, click OK, set it here to T1. There we go. Let me just click on apply. Set this one as well, rename it, set it here to T2, click OK, change it here to T2, apply, and I'll select this one here, rename, set it here to side bars. There we go. Click OK, make sure it's selected, go ahead and set it to sidebars, click on apply. So we've created 4 or rather 5 new view filters. So I'm just going to click OK. Now I'm going to select them, hold down the control key to select all of them, then click OK. All right, good. So with this, now we can set presentation views for these 5 categories of rebar layers. If I go ahead and turn off the visibility, we can see just B1 bars. If I turn off the visibility, we can see B2 bars. If I turn off the visibility, we can see T1 bars. We can see as well T2 bars if we want to. All right, good. So this is just for the power caps, by the way. We didn't set layers for the powers. We'll do that shortly. I'll go ahead and turn on the visibility and click on apply. So I'm going to come over here and click on patterns, and I'm going to switch this here to solid fill, and I'll choose a color of my choice. Let's say for this one B1, I want to use this pink color. Click OK. I'll select this one here for B2. I'll scroll down, pick this one, and let's use orange here. There we go. You can't use any color of your choice. These are not standards by any means. So I'll select this. Let's use green. I'll click OK. There we go. T2 here as well. I'll go ahead and pick, let's pick cyan. There we go. And for the sidebars here, I'm just going to scroll down and let me use this purple color and click OK. Now if I click on apply, you may not see it yet, but if I click OK and zoom in closely, we can now distinguish between, all the different layers. Now to make this a bit more visually appealing, what I'll do is I'll come here and change the visual style from hidden line. I'll change it to shaded. And what I'll do is I'll select one of the structural foundation categories, right click, then override graphics in view by category. And I'll come over here to surface pattern, and I'm just going to change this here to solid fill. Change this color here. Let's change it to something like this, or just closer to white. Click OK and click on apply and OK. Then I'll come back to visual styles, click on graphic display options, and I'll go ahead and turn off the edges. If I click on apply and OK, we see we have a much nicer presentation for our reinforcements. Now let's go ahead and set presentation here for the ties and the longitudinal reinforcement. So I'm just going to zoom in here. I'll go ahead and select one of these ties here, and I'm just going to go ahead and set the rebar layer and type here ties. There we go. Click on apply. Good. And I'll select the longitudinal bars here, and I'll set this here as VB, short for vertical bars. Right, good. I'm not going to do the same thing as well for the others. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a selection like this. I'll filter, and I'll go ahead and just separate just the structural rebars. Click OK, and I'll delete. I'll propagate them later on. It's much easier. Now I'll come back here to visibility graphics overrides. I'll click on edit, come to filters, and I'll click on add and edit on new. I'll select this one here, and I'll go over here and duplicate, and I'll come here, rename this, and I'll call this here VB. There we go. Make sure it's selected, and I'll set this here to VB. Apply. Now I'll select this one as well, duplicate, select it, and then rename. I'll call this here ties. There we go. Click OK. Then set this here to ties. Click on apply and OK. Now select the ties and VB, hold down the control key, click OK to add them in, and we can see they're in. I'll select the two of them, hold down the control key, and I'll move them down the list. There we go. And I'll come here. I'll just select one first, click on overrides, change this pattern to solid fill, and let's go ahead and use this color here. All right, good. And for the ties, click here, and what color can we use here? Let's use blue. Let's go ahead and select this, click OK, and if we click on apply, you can see that has been done. Lovely. Now I can go ahead and select the pile again, click on propagate rebar, then I'm just going to make a selection of all the piles like this, and then click on finish. If I zoom in, you can see that all of those properties have been applied. There we go. Now let's go ahead and set presentation here for the ties and the longitudinal reinforcement. So I'm just going to zoom in here. I'll go ahead and select one of these ties here, and I'm just going to go ahead and set the rebar layer and type here ties. There we go. Click on apply. Good. And I'll select the longitudinal bars here, and I'll set this here as VB, short for vertical bars. Right, good. I'm not going to do the same thing as well for the others. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a selection like this. I'll filter, and I'll go ahead and just separate just the structural rebars. Click OK, and I'll delete. I'll propagate them later on. It's much easier. Now I'll come back here to visibility graphics overrides. I'll click on edit, come to filters, and I'll click on add and edit on new. I'll select this one here, and I'll go over here and duplicate, and I'll come here, rename this, and I'll call this here VB. There we go. Make sure it's selected, and I'll set this here to VB. Apply. Now I'll select this one as well, duplicate, select it, and then rename. I'll call this here ties. There we go. Click OK. Then set this here to ties. Click on apply and OK. Now select the ties and VB, hold down the control key, click OK to add them in, and we can see they're in. I'll select the two of them, hold down the control key, and I'll move them down the list. There we go. And I'll come here. I'll just select one first, click on overrides, change this pattern to solid fill, and let's go ahead and use this color here. All right, good. And for the ties, click here, and what color can we use here? Let's use blue. Let's go ahead and select this, click OK, and if we click on apply, you can see that has been done. Lovely. Now I can go ahead and select the pile again, click on propagate rebar, then I'm just going to make a selection of all the piles like this, and then click on finish. If I zoom in, you can see that all of those properties have been applied. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and align the piles to the pile caps, and the reason for that is that if I go ahead and select this pile cap, for instance, and move it away, you can see here that the pile doesn't move with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and undo. I'll come back here and open up the level 1 plan. There we go. And inside this view, I'll come to visibility graphics overrides, and I'll just go ahead and turn off the rebar for now. So type here rebar, turn off structural rebar category, and then click OK. Now I'm just going to zoom into this first pile cap here. I'm going to come to the modify tab, and I'm going to click here on align. I'm going to go ahead and turn on lock. I'll turn off multiple alignments, and I'm just going to find the middle of the pile cap. Click here, then click the middle of the pile. I'll find the middle of the pile cap in this direction, then click the middle of the pile. Good. So what this does now is that if I come to the 3D view and I go ahead and select the pile cap, if I move it, you can see that the pile moves with it as well. The good thing as well is that if you go ahead and change the sizing of this pile cap, if I come here to edit type and I change it here, for instance, to let's say 2000, and I change the, oops, not here rather, I want to change the pile cap width and length. If I change it here to 2000 and I change it here to 2000 as well, if I click OK, you can see the reinforcements adjust with it as well. And if I select this pile cap, for instance, and I go ahead and change this to maybe around 600, you can see it also increases and the reinforcements adjust. If I click on the pile and I adjust the length, for instance, I change it here to 9000, I click on apply, you can see it also adjusts. This is very interesting because you can actually go ahead and use this for subsequent projects without having to model it from scratch. I'm just going to go ahead and undo, take it back here to the original position. There we go. Now I'm going to come back here into level 1, and I'm going to do the same thing as well for all the other piles. I'll come here, click on align, I'll click here to find the center, click here, find here this center, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, and you can see that they are all constraints. So I'll come here, click here, I'll click here, I'll click here, click here, click here, click here, then click, 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 and you can see they are all constrained. So if I click on modify, you can just check by clicking on it. You can see all the locked points. If I move it around, just make sure that the piles also, move with it as well. I'll come back here into level 1. Let me just go ahead and undo. I'll come here, come back here to align. There we go. Find the middle, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click, 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 and click, click. That's an awful lot of clicking. So when you do that, just you can move it around and make sure that they are moving together. All right, good. And that's how we model Power Foundation with its reinforcement in Revit. I would make available this finished project file, and you can download it using the link in the description of the video. So for anybody that wants to see the finished results, feel free to check it out. In the next video, we're going to look at how to detail these Power Foundations. Once again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment. We always appreciate that. Share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.